So we were on this slide, posterior lobe. So we talked about anterior lobe of the pituitary gland, and we talked about now we will talk about posterior pituitary. And posterior pituitary, actually, oxytocin and ADH. These are the two hormones which are synthesized by hypothalamus. They are made up of 9 amino acids and they differ only in 2 amino acids. Oxytocin. Oxytocin is a strong stimulant for uterine contraction. So oxytocin is released during childbirth, and the level of oxytocin slowly increases as the person reaches to the full-time pregnancy. And during the childbirth, it causes uterine contractions. Oxytocin also causes milk ejection from the mammary glands after baby's birth. Oxytocin also works as a neurotransmitter because it increases the feeling of relaxation and it increases the feeling of bonding, and it is the hormone which is released also when we hug a loved one. Antidiuretic hormone. So diuretic means more water is removed through the urine. Diuretics, we need to go to bathroom more frequently. Anti means it will, opposite of diuretic means it inhibits urine formation. So ADH hormone actually targets kidney tubules. It increases water reabsorption. So ADH hormone is triggered also by pain, low blood pressure, or the drugs. ADH is inhibited by alcohol. So this is important to know. When we drink alcohol, ADH is inhibited, so more urine is formed, and as more urine goes out of the body, more water goes out of the body, and the blood pressure goes down. And that is the reason we feel hangover symptoms. Increased concentration of antidiuretic hormone causes constriction of the blood vessels. That is the reason it is also known as vasopressin. So ADH causes the vasoconstriction of blood vessels and increases the blood pressure. Deficiency of antidiuretic hormone causes disipidus insipidus. So this is different from diabetes mellitus, and this condition is due to the damage to the hypothalamus or posterior lobe of pituitary gland or too much water intake. So actually ADH is delivered through nasal mucosa. This is the deficiency of ADH, which causes diabetes insipidus. We need to go to bathroom and so often that we will get dehydrated. And the excess, suppose if we have too much ADH, it will cause it will cause the retention of the fluid, headache, disorientation, all that. So if there is an excess of ADH, then we need to restrict fluid actually, and we need to monitor blood sodium level. Anterior pituitary hormones. So this is important to know. The 6 hormones are released by anterior pituitary. So know the name of each hormone, and like growth hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, and luteinizing hormone. They are known as tropic hormone because they stimulate the activity of other glands. So Anterior pituitary hormones, they are protein based. All except growth hormone works through second messenger system. TSH, ACTH, as I said, they are known as tropic hormone. The reason they are called tropic hormone because they regulate the activity of other endocrine gland. Thyroid stimulating affects the activity of thyroid gland. Adrenal corticotropic affect the activity of adrenal cortex. So like that. Now, growth hormone. Growth hormone actually, its direct action is on the metabolism of the body cells. So what it does, it increases the blood level of fatty acids because it breaks down the fats in the body and uses them for energy. It decreases the rate of glucose uptake. It increases glycogen breakdown and glucose release. So those were the direct actions. Indirect actions, growth hormone mediates the growth via growth promoting proteins. And growth promoting proteins are insulin-like growth factors. So growth hormone, which works like insulin-like growth factors, it increases the uptake of nutrient by the cells. It increases formation of collagen, deposition of bone. So the major targets for growth hormone are bone and skeletal muscle. So as we grow, we get skeletal mass, we get bone mass, bone grow in height, muscles grow in mass. Like that. Growth hormone. It is released chiefly regulated by hypothalamic releasing hormone. So hypothalamus releases the growth hormone releasing hormone or growth hormone inhibiting hormone, which regulates the activity of anterior pituitary. This hormone, ghrelin, is a hunger hormone. It is released by the stomach and it increases growth hormone release. So nowadays they make synthesized growth hormone as well as natural. So they need to actually 1 million sheep brains to isolate 1 milligram of growth hormone releasing hormone. So that is the reason they make synthetic also. Hypersecretion, if it is growth hormone is released too much during the childhood, the person will grow like 7 feet tall. If the growth hormone is released after the person gained the full height, it will cause acromegaly, means the face will get wider, extremities will get wider. Hyposecretion in the children, it will not let them grow properly. They will not get the average height. And in the adults, actually, it will decrease the normal development. So here is they are showing how the growth hormone works. Here they are showing too much growth hormone, too little growth hormone, or in the adult. Now, thyroid stimulating hormone. So thyroid stimulating hormone is produced by the thyrotropic cells of anterior pituitary. Thyroid stimulating hormone stimulates the activity of the thyroid gland. So the anterior pituitary release is triggered. So even the anterior pituitary releases thyroid stimulating hormone when hypothalamus releases this releasing hormone in the anterior pituitary. Inhibit by increased thyroid hormone blood level. As the level of thyroid hormone increases in the blood, it will inhibit the release of thyroid stimulating hormone, and it will also inhibit the release of this releasing hormone from hypothalamus. So see here, the target cells, thyroid hormone works on the target cell. As the level of thyroid hormone increases, it will inhibit the release of thyroid stimulating hormone and the thyroid releasing hormone. Adrenocorticotropic hormone is released by the anterior pituitary, and adrenocorticotropic hormone stimulate adrenal cortex. So adrenal cortex releases corticosteroids. Regulation of adrenocorticotropic hormone is also regulated by hypothalamus, because the hypothalamus releases corticotropic releasing hormone in the anterior pituitary, and then anterior pituitary releases ACTH. Gonadotropin, follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. They are also released by anterior pituitary. Follicle stimulating hormone stimulate gamete production, means egg production in female, and sperm production in males. Luteinizing hormone promotes production of gonadal hormones. Luteinizing hormone, which is released by anterior pituitary, promotes production of estrogen and progesterone in female and testosterone in males. These hormones actually are absent from blood during pre-puberty. Gonadotropin regulation. Release triggered by gonadotropin releasing hormone during and after puberty. So hypothalamus releases gonadotropin releasing hormone in the anterior pituitary during the puberty and after the puberty. Release is suppressed by gonadal hormone. If the level of testosterone goes up, or if the level of estrogen or progesterone goes up, it will inhibit gonadotropin releasing hormone. Prolactin. Prolactin actually is secreted by anterior pituitary, and it stimulates milk production. So when we talked oxytocin, it causes milk ejection. Prolactin stimulates milk production and regulation. So primarily it is like prolactin inhibiting hormone is released by hypothalamus. Prolactin hormone blood levels rise towards the end of pregnancy, and as the baby suckling stimulates prolactin releasing hormone from the hypothalamus, and it promotes continuous milk production in the mammary glands. So now this one is done. This is part C, and part D I will start in my next lecture, because here we have only 45 seconds left. So as I said, posterior pituitary stores ADH and oxytocin, and when they need to induce a woman to induce the labor, they give the injection of oxytocin. So oxytocin synthesized is used to induce the labor in a woman. Suppose if the date passes and the woman wants to be induced, then they will get oxytocin injection. So now I will start actually